Abani Ghani, everyone. This is Professor Rahh, Professor Emeritus, California State University Africana Studies Department, former city councilman for the city of Compton, former Compton College Board of Trustees, and former Compton Unified School District Board of Trustees, as well as a professor of history and psychology and ethnic studies at Compton Community College, along with my co-host, Joe Hembert, longtime educator and with the Compton and Linwood Unified School District with the first black head coach for football in Linwood Unified, eminent administrator and educator for the school district, as well as a historian on our culture and our spirituality. We want to welcome each and every one of you to the show. We want to give praise and thanks to Brother Rashaki Maskani for providing the Community Education Network platform for us, Conscious Corner, to present our special think tank and discussions on critical issues facing African American people and here in the United States and African people in the diaspora, the critical issues we face. We want to thank Brother Mshinda, straight out of Louisiana, the Deep South, where he gives us forecasts and understanding of the moods and the understanding of the people in the South in the current day and from a historical perspective also. Longtime administrator working with youth and working with other individuals in public service. We really appreciate his contribution to the program. And the good doctor. If you need a prescription to get your mind together and get your understanding together, there's nothing like the good doctor who, just always helping everybody when he wanted help everybody. He does. Get mentally, spiritually, and physically healthy. So we want to get started. Tonight's subjects are going to be a couple of different subjects, controversial subjects. It comes from a history of miscegenation laws, segregation laws, and things that black men used to get hung for and black women used to get beat for and raped for, and always was hid. And that is interracial marriages as well as same-sex marriages and its effect on the black family. And how does interracial marriages affect the black family? And how does same-sex marriages, lesbians on lesbians and males on males marriages affect the black family? So we're going to start off with Brother Mshinda, who's in the Deep South and have a rich history of lynching and finding people in the swamps and in the lakes and things of this nature back in the 50s, 60s, 40s, and throughout our history here, and probably still finding people. I know they're having a lot of issues in Jackson, Mississippi. But let's get on. Mshinda, what's your perspective of interracial marriages? Are they cool? Are they, you don't have no problem with it? What's the situation? How's your view of it?
Well, I'm a whatever floats your boat kind of guy. Um, Personally, there's some things that I will not or have not or do not indulge in. That's my personal choice
Mhm.
and perspective. But I don't chase nobody down if I see somebody with a white woman, all that kind of stuff. I might have been in my younger years. I might have been a little more vocal on certain things about that. As it relates to the strengthening the black family. And those types of things. The mere fact that she's white and he's black, or vice versa. At the end of the day, I'm a firm believer that at some point in history and time that was irrelevant, But since they racialized everything and structurally, they structured a system and of survival for themselves, genetic survival, and the rest of the survivals. Of course, that's against going against the grain, is what they what they stand for. Of course. What's interesting to me though, I visit the equal. I've mentioned that several podcasts ago, a while back, when I visited was Montgomery, Alabama, the Equal Justice Initiative Museum. that's where it talks about mass incarceration as well
Mm,
as the slavery, slavery as it relates to domestic slavery. I mean, they talk about the Atlantic slave trade, but also what went down in America. So it's an interesting. But one of the things that stood out to me was those anti what is it the inner the what's the term miscegenation, what is
yeah,
it what you call
miscegenation laws. Yeah.
yeah, they had, so what blew me away was I was reading, when you go to the museum, they were talking about uh, that particular subject where, like you take Louisiana, uh, it became legal in 1967 for interracial marriage. You're talking about 1967. So prior to 1967, it was illegal in Louisiana, you know,
Mm,
and it was punishable, it was a bad thing to do. And so in the other states, I think there's a few that was like, I think Mississippi or Alabama, one of them, they're like 1975 or something. It might not be that late game, but it's unbelievable that in our lifetime, not too long ago, that this was carried, this was going on. So in other words, the laws on the books. So if
mm,
you figure in Louisiana in 1967, and that was the same time around they started integrating the schools.
mm,
I think 1968 was the last year that they integrated Central Memorial High School in this little town where all blacks went, a lot of scholars and things like that. But moving down here and working in the school systems, and they had the black student council member and the white student. I mean, that was on paper. I'm like, y'all down here tripping, but it was in place when I came down this way, like in the '90s. And so my point is, so back to what you're saying, I think it's a personal feeling, and is one thing, how you want things to be, but as far as legislating it and making it a crime, I can't follow that. I mean, that's a crime against humanity. So,
mm,
but for political reasons and for other reasons, I have my choices. So, of course, back in the day, they had a few of those, folks come my way, and I might have, partake in a little, just a few minutes, just checking it out. It's like, nah, this is not my cup of tea. This is not, I mean, of course, never made one my girlfriend or anything like that, but might have went out one time or twice, in public. It's like, it just didn't feel right. Just it wasn't natural for me, because my spirit was, tugging me a different direction. But whatever floats your boat, So that's my perspective at this time.
mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The good doc. How do you think, from a historical perspective, you think about Emmett Till getting killed for just looking at a white girl, a white lady who later accused him, and then later on when she got older, matter of fact, she was indicted. She was subpoenaed back there, and she never showed up. And then recently, under pressure, she admitted that he never even said nothing to her, and she just made it up. But they never charged her. The family was trying to get her charged, but they couldn't. But how do you think it affect? When we was coming up, women, when they saw a black man, professional or just a brother, walking with a white girl, they frowned. And we as brothers generally criticized brothers back in the 50s and 60s when we was coming up. I'm not talking about before them. Before them is worse than that because like you said, the misogyny hadn't been relaxed. And Jack Johnson, he got his title taken and maybe sent to jail for crossing state lines with a white girl and who was a heavyweight champion. There was a lot of things going on. Black men was getting lynched. The white girls. As a matter of fact, Tulsa was started because a white woman. The Black Wall Street was burned down because a white woman accused the elevator operator of assaulting her sexually, and then later recanted after they didn't tore up the town, took all the black people's property, and burned it down. So we know that there was a horrific aspect to that and a frown by white men who called themselves protecting white women. And they had vigilantes and other things that really intimidated people from mixed marriages. And the Ku Klux Klan whole doctrine that they were against interracial marriages as well as John Birch societies and Minutemen and all those type of things. But the point is that how do you feel that it's affecting I mean, like you said, many times it's socially accepted today. I mean, you see it all the time now, and black men with white women and so on and so on. The Marvel guy, Majors, just got his career tore up and may go to prison for a year for beating up a white girl, and not just his girlfriend that she said he beat her up. He said it wasn't like that, but anyway, OJ, we have those cases, but how do you think it affect the consciousness of black people? And the black family is an institution. Um, it's a primary protection, development, education, and defense unit of the family. And that generally means black people marrying black people or things of that nature because of for protection and for enhancement of the race. How do you think mixed um, couples, interracial couples affect the family? And how do you think same-sex people, and mostly, many black men are marrying white men? I mean, John Lemon and a couple other people, openly married white men. How do you think it affect male-female relationships in the black family if you have an opinion on it?
Well, well, again, I think that this the society we live in, it's not uh acceptable by a huge sector of society, so that's one thing. So I mean, but like I say, on a personal level, I mean, like I say, whatever you do, but I think it does have an effect due to the fact that I think it pisses them off, meaning the ones that not only the haters, the one that are really uh, taken back by it. Like you say, the John Birch societies and the KKK and Nazis and the different white supremacist groups who believe in a pure white society, and they're aware of their existence. They're aware of the population is diminishing worldwide. They're a minority so on the larger scheme of things, they realize that they are not only a minority, but their birth rate, they're at 0% birth rate basically, and they're if you look at all the major European nations, and forget the name of it, it's one of the, I think it's World Bank. I think you go to worldbank.com or .org or something. This thing, I think that's it because it tripped me out when I said, why is the World Bank keeping tabs? So that's another interesting research thing. But if you can look at the real time death rate, I mean, it's actually, like just like the clock is turning, another person's dying. It's a real time ticker, clock. And people are born, people are dying. So they're very familiar with that. When I worked, I worked in criminal justice, back in the day in San Diego. I had a chance to, I was privy to some information, some kind of undercover information, in far as the KKK. I was dealing with gangs and organizations and things like that. And you can call a phone number, and Tom Metzger of the Ku Klux Klan, he was like the Imperial Wizard in San Diego of the Ku Klux Klan. And he would start, it was a recording, and it was basically giving you a schedule of events that they were having. And he was talking about, it was a dateline, and he was saying, we'll be in Iowa on Tuesday, marching for whiteness or whatever. But then he talked about Papa his what did he say? You know, he talked about the diminishing of the population. That was the main one of his main messages and main focus. So even back then, we're talking years ago. So I said all that to say that they're so conscious on that. They're so in on that that sure when so I think that they hate it and they feel that it's doing so it's diminishing their not only the population, their culture, and I hear people here all the time down south here in Louisiana. They talk about, I mean, it's very common for them to say it ain't like it used to be, and oh, the place used to be this way. And they're referring to the time when times were good for them. So we
Mm.
we all know that when times were great for them, we were catching hell.
Yeah.
We finally got a black mayor here. I
Mm.
tell you what, I was checking out the city council meeting, and the black mayor is considering wanting to change up the police department and let the sheriff do it like Compton did. That kind of thing.
Mm.
Just looking at some possibilities. Then they had this white dude who was a former policeman who turned state trooper. He retired as a state trooper, and he came in. And what the mayor is proposing is, he said, we're going to come up with a committee, a board, or a panel, or to explore this situation. We'll get 3 citizens. We'll get 2 of the council members, myself, and blah blah blah. Well, then the policeman, the retired state trooper, said he talked about how he felt that it wasn't going to be a fair committee because the mayor is going to stack the deck, so to speak. Well, hell, they've been stacking the deck for years. Where were you when you guys had the council and passing everything? And you never said, well, the people in the black community are being left out. So he's speaking for his own interests, the white community. So at the end of the day, I'm just saying they are aware more aware than most people realize that they're aware of what's going on. And so,
Mm.
again, the answer to your question is I don't have a problem with it. They do.
Mm.
They are the haters. They have the problem based on what I just talked about. That's one of the main things. And is they feel disrespect. We are a threat to them on multiple levels. We could talk sports, we could talk inventions, we could talk about all kind of things. But if they can discredit us and keep us down, the ones that hate us, then that's what it's about. And it's a whole lot of them like that. So again, I think the bigger picture is it's like, say, if your son is going to be with a white girl, hopefully you got to tell him to be careful. And I mean, it's more than that, like the world it's not depending on where you're at in the world too, but down here, people, you see a lot of, you see more mixed dating and marriages and girlfriend boyfriend than ever before. So it's the world is changing with or without those rednecks. But
Mm.
again, you creating a different struggle for yourself when you partake in those kind of activities dealing with the others. So, but
Mm.
that's all on that.
Mm. All right. The good doctor, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you think about mixed marriages and gay marriages and same-sex domestic partners or unions in various states? But at the same time, does it have an effect on the black family or, the black movement? How do you feel?
Kind of something like what Mshinda was saying. I'm in a mixed relationship,
Mm-hmm.
marriage. Um, she's not white,
Mm-hmm.
but um, I don't see any issues. Just like we talked before with the gay stuff, the gay
Mm-hmm.
couples, and what was the other couple? The other thing issue?
Well,
Yeah, but my thing is, yeah, hey,
mixed marriages
mixed
and
marriage, yeah, the gay, hey, as long as they're happy, you with
mixed.
somebody, you happy, man, because
But,
you can't live your life by, and I learned this. Fortunately, I learned this kind of late in life, man. I was always impressionable by other people, elders, uh, people with more experience, and you kind of go, hey, listen to them, but till you start living your life, man, you got to make your own judgment. You're the one sleeping next to this person, waking up, and that other person's not. But one of the questions was, you said back in the Mattel days, hey, back in them days, you had no choices. I think now, man, as being black, we got so many choices we can do, we can pick from now. Like Rahh, like you used to say, you stand up for the civil rights movement, that civil rights movement, you gave us choices, choices in employment, who you're dating, where you living, what you buy, everything, what you eat. We got choices now. So when you bombarded by a bunch of choices, man, hey, stuff is going to change. Yeah, but again, I don't have an issue with it. It's just always, and I said this before, like George Carlin had a joke, and always, and everybody bring up some kind of issue. He said, the Earth been hit by meteorites, asteroids, earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, big movements, atom bombs, nuclear bombs, and we're sitting here worrying about plastic. All the destruction on Earth, and we're sitting here crying about plastic.
Yeah.
So you got bigger things out there, but we want to worry about plastic. And with that, man, we got a lot of things going on in the world, and we want to worry about who someone is sleeping with. It's okay to pick that when you don't have a choice. And you look at some of these people that talk about that, man, and you look at their wives, you do use a one block rule. Most black men, you use one block rule, their wives look like they're white a block away. So what's the real story? Yeah, you with someone you like, you want to be happy with, and hey, as long as you're happy with the mixed race and same sex, hey, that's one of those I say, hey, man, I don't, I can't argue it. Same with religion. Hey, you Christian, Muslim, Mormon, Jewish, hey, that's your religion. As long as you're happy, where you work at. You got professors, people that, don't like law enforcement, people don't like these jobs, people don't like teaching. Hey, but if you're happy, I can't sit here and say, hey, you shouldn't be a law enforcement firefighter or working for the white man. And, but as long as you're happy, you're getting bills paid. So I don't see it as an issue. As far as overall the black struggle, I always said, hey, man, my whole thing was, man, hey, if all black men would have got all non-black women pregnant, 4 generations ago, be no more white people on Earth. Everybody be black. So it's the only way you're gonna get away with white people, man, is mixed race. With all other races, we can do away with all other races, man. If every black man would have got two or three generations ago married non-white, there would hardly be no other non-blacks. Then you look at, I saw some stuff they were doing in Africa. Drop one white lady in the middle of Zimbabwe, man, them guys are going crazy. You drop a white lady anywhere in one of these 50 countries in Africa, man, them Africans are going crazy over that white lady, man. So it's just something, man. Any other, non-black, any Asian, doesn't matter what they're Australian. You drop them in the middle of Africa somewhere, man. Black men are going crazy. Africans are going crazy. So it's another choice they got. So like I said, like you say about the laws. Hey, the laws changed, gave people more choices on both sides, and with those choices, man, you have changes. Take away the choices, be back to like we used to be.
But okay, that's a good point. It's a good point. What about you, Rashaki? Do you think it have an effect on the black community? The black family, I mean.
Well, yes. I mean, we live in a racial context, and so if you live in a racial context and you have one dominant race and then you have other races, and somebody marries out of the race, you're gonna create some some differences, some confusion. You know, you take each individual gonna think different about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, one gonna say, oh, they shouldn't do it. And then the other gonna say, oh, it's okay. And so it becomes kind of problematic because of the type of system we live in. So
Mm-hmm.
and then once you cross a line, Brother Mshinda was alluding to this a little bit. Once you cross a line and you go and do something, it's gonna bring more attention to yourself because you're the one that did it, be it gay or interracial relationship. So you're gonna bring more scrutiny towards yourself in a sense, and then you have to defend yourself. Then you have like you have the different racial groups, you know, ostracizing you and all of this and that. You take a white and black relationship, and you have like I think Brother Mshinda mentioned, you'll be walking down the street, and you may have some of these hillbillies or these militias see you, and shoot, you might come up missing. So it kind of just it's a bunch of confusion, and the root of all of it is the color context system. And you know, and you have people are able to travel now, and they've been traveling throughout the years. And once one racial group encounters another racial group, through exploration, then you have these issues of you take the white man and how he came over to the United States, or to North America, and he traveled, he came and slaughtered, killed, and took over. And and it causes all kind of friction and fractions. So it's definitely an issue. It's interesting. Neely Fuller said, because we live in white supremacy racism, if you choose to date a white person, it's like you're being molested because you're in a status of a child, and the white man is in the status of the adult. So it's like you're being molested if you engage in that type of relationship. That's what he said, and I thought that was very interesting. So it's a heck of a thing,
Well,
It's a heck of a thing to go against the grain, and that's what people are doing when they go against what's been established or things of that nature. You know, when you have the gays, you have back in the day it was more people in the closet, but now they're out of the closet, and it's not like Brother Mshinda was saying. It's not it's a certain portion which is small, and you know it's a bunch of confusion. And in my opinion, there are certain lines that you don't cross because of nature. You don't cross certain lines. And then also you take a transgender youth. Those kids are so mixed up to the point where they want to kill themselves quite often. And it's oh, I think I'm this way. Oh, and so it creates a lot of mental illness too. It's basically it's mentally damaging, all these things that go on, and people are trying to be themselves, but when you take a person and they're one thing, and then they try to be something else that they're not, it's just going to come a lot of issues are going to come. My wife was telling me that they be having these surgeries, and it's a whole bunch of complications, very expensive surgeries to change their gender. And it comes a total life. You're consumed with all of
transgender.
all of these issues. So I think being natural the way you are is the way to go. But that's just me.
Yeah. I think they passed a law in Texas just recently that transgender people can't compete in sports with same different sex people, with heterosexual people, things that. I mean, it's a complicated.
One
Go ahead. Go
one
ahead.
thing about we at the work site, and I'm not mentioning any names. One of the security guards noticed that uh, some male students entered in the female's bathroom because they're supposed to be of a different, I guess, transgender and all that. So she said she was confused. So she had to ask administration, how did she handle those situations? Because some girls may not be comfortable with boys that think that they're a girl in the girls' bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So it's issues that's being created constantly, and people don't want to jeopardize their jobs, and it's just so much confusion. It's ridiculous. So that's what it is. It's a bunch of confusion and a bunch of people that are confused. And oh, and one more thing before I finish, because of our society, the system we live in, it causes issues in multi what you call it
Multicultural,
no
multiracial,
when you marry outside of your race,
miscegenation, or
miscegenation, dating out of the race,
mm-hmm.
because of this system, it confuses people and it ramps up. Blacks, like the miscegenation laws, blacks couldn't marry whites, white couldn't marry blacks. If we didn't have this, if we had maturity, because the current humans are immature. If we have maturity, a healthy man and a healthy woman could be with each other without no issue because they can procreate. So because we were driven to be sectioned off like we're fractionalized. It's the system creates that. So you can't have two people, out of the race just comfortably dating because of the type of system we live in. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, it's a very complex discussion because the issues are complex and they're all mixed up as much as the relationships are today. But from the beginning of human existence, uh, people have always had sex with whoever they wanted to, or whatever they wanted to. I mean, animals did it. You're going to tell a white horse he can't have sex with where do you think palominos came from? A mix. Zebras came from mixing. So animals mix based upon their stimulation and their relationships. Cows mix. How you gonna tell a white cow they can't have a calf with another cow, a brown cow, a black cow. I mean, you don't regulate them. It's only humans that began to develop regulations, and this because of the density of populations when the first Europeans came here and they wanted to build their relation with their whites, so they developed laws that prohibited interracial and interracial marriages, and because of their strict religious doctrine, they tried to force people not to be into gay and lesbian activity. They get lynched, burned to the stake, all type of stuff, just like they did witches. So as Mshinda and all y'all say, society has changed immensely to a certain degree. But within the groups, there's still subgroups. Catholics they prefer you to marry another Catholic. Christians want you to marry another Christian. Muslims want you to marry another Muslim. And most race groups want you to marry within your race. I mean, they want you to, but as the good doctors say, if you choose not to, You may get some criticism, but that's your choice. If you're able to do it, most black men are now marrying Latinos, and things of this nature, and Latino women are marrying black men, and there's a long history to that too. But the point is that from a social stratification standpoint, and when you in college, you had to take a class called statistics or methods research, and you get data. European don't not only um, develop laws against it, he tracked and studied why people do it. It's like the white man say, you can say God make it rain. The white man say, well, I'm gonna go up in space and find out how God did it. I mean, that's his trip. And see if I can do it. They came up with rain machines. So my point is, rainmaking machine. My point is that it depends on your ideology and how you see your ethnicity or race on many times how you judge it. Freedom is choices within it, and then there's consequences for those choices. I remember when we was in school, the girls liked the light dude and the guy dude with the curly hair, and he was closer to white. And they could say, "I want to have a baby by him because my baby will have good hair and be light. I don't want to marry nobody dark people." There were people that was color shocked. I mean, we had discrimination within our own race. Many of us are mixed with Indians and things of that nature. So and white people, I mean, white men passed a law against it, but hell, he was sneaking in the slave house. How you think we got all these different color shades of black people? So, you got a law against dope. That don't stop the dope dealer from dealing. You have a law, it discourages a lot of people for the penalties if they get caught and they give them a long time. So that discourages others. But hey, people still dealing dope. People still been sneaking around. It's a rare middle class educated black person that don't have a white mistress. They always have them. They look for them. They say, they look for other racial relationship. I want to see if the Latino vagina is hotter than the black vagina. And then there's a penis envy thing where, the white woman say, if you go black, you ain't never coming back. You understand? I mean, there's all type of things of this nature. But from a social stratification standpoint, it has an effect on the black family from that standpoint, because it creates different categories. There, people who say I'm biracial, they're not black. Even though society classifies them as black, they even tried to start a category in the system that says I'm biracial. Take me out of the black community. You understand what I'm saying? Or African American community. The same thing with I'm colored. I'm not black. I'm mixed. All those type of things from a physical standpoint. But Farrakhan mother, some relatives was white. Malcolm had white people in his family. Um, and Maulana had white people in his family. We all, either through rape or through various forms of social issues. You in prison and you get a white girl pen pal. She put money on your books, see to it that you have all the comforts that you need while you're doing your time. And then when you get out, he sticks with her. The girl in the projects. Here's a white man, make her a mistress. He taking care of the kids, helping them, giving them money and things. How you gonna tell them don't have a relationship with people that's providing for them? But from a social stratification standpoint, the population of black people have diminished immensely in comparison to other ethnic groups, because many of them come as family. We African Americans, with a strong limit to the immigration of Africans and Haitians and people of color from the Caribbeans and things of this nature. You go back east, you'll see a lot of Haitians and Puerto Ricans and things of that nature, New York, Washington, D.C., and things of this nature, driving cabs or doing what the hell they do. But the point is that from a social stratification standpoint, to develop political power and to develop a sense of population expansion, of continuation, and population retention and development, it has an impact. Gay relationship. When a black man becomes gay and he gets another black man, that's two men out of the marriage pool for black women. And then when you deal with social stratification, and then how do they see themselves? They see themselves as biracial. Then they don't generally identify with social movements, or political or justice movements.
Excuse me, Professor Rahh.
Yeah.
Can you give us a definition and example of social stratification?
Well, social stratification is the study of society, in of how it's going and how it's developing. How many people are immigrated here? How many gays are there? How many gay marriages are there? How many black people are marrying outside their race? How many white people marry outside their race? How many Asians and all that? You do that for the purposes of being able to pass laws, being able to develop political strategies of how to approach these people, and you do it for the standpoint of understanding the changes.
So it's a lot of data collecting.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Okay.
Data and that's what think tanks do. Okay. Brookings Institute and all kind of institutes this European got. Yeah, they pay big money for researchers and social stratificationists to help them develop policies and strategies to maintain power or to get ahead of changes that they don't want, or to regulate those changes with propaganda and things of this nature. The illusion of inclusion, as Brother Hembrick would say. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why they do social. If you take sociology, you got to take statistics. Where are you getting statistics on? Society. How many millionaires you have? How many billionaires you have? What's your unemployment rate? What's your birth rate? Whose name? They even keep account of how you name and what you name your children. You understand? Because it helps them understand their system and how it's changing. That's what Trump is talking about. They're poisoning the blood. He's talking about miscegenation. People mix it. And so that's how they. It's a part of the national security. It's the national security. That's what the census is about. National security. Population shifts. Who's moving where? They can tell you. There are a lot of black people moving to the South. They're going to Texas. They're going back home to the South. There's people saying, come on back home and things of this nature. I mean, it's a lot to social stratification. And then at the same time, it helps them understand your acculturation. How many black people are religious, Christians, and who make up the Christian community, the Muslim community? And what you naming your children, what schools they're going to, what you're teaching them. You understand all of that. That's why, I mean, when you think of the budget of America, it's the hidden budget that they don't tell you what they're spending on. Like nobody know how much money they were sending Israel. Nobody know the various expenditures with national security, with CIA, what their budgets are, and what this and what that. And why do they have so many troops in Africa and so many troops in different parts of the world? And how much it's costing? How much it's costing America to have ships in in the ocean and dealing with right there in Africa where they're using drones to attack cargo ships. Now they're talking about moving some of their service people there. So statistics are very important. But getting back to the family, the Black family came together. Let's put it like this. At one time, there was no such thing as Black families in the Holocaust of enslavement. You were property of the white man. They had breeding farms and all that stuff about roots and living in cabins and all that, in the motion picture Roots or this, that it didn't, in some areas they may have had that, but in most areas they didn't. You slept in the barn, you slept in the quarters, and they kept you healthy for work, and it's a whole different thing. But the point is that, you got to look at from our standpoint of political, economical, and educational growth as a Black race. Does gay marriages help or contribute to some dissipation of that effort to repopulate heterosexual families or with male and female, two-parent homes? And, you have the power nuclear family, which the power nuclear family is a male and female and children. Then you have the extended family. That's when you take in relatives that somebody died one time, you didn't have all these programs you have today. And those are the things that you have challenges with. Then the other thing is that even though you can marry outside your race, some people within the race still frown on it. It's like if a sister's a devout Christian and she married to a person that is an atheist, the church would frown on that. That's just the way it goes. You can do it, and people do it. Kareem Jabbar was married to a white girl. That's when his house got burned down. You know, and all his albums got burned up. So we've always, Sidney Poitier, all of them, had many of them had, guess who coming to dinner? I'm a man. You see yourself as a Black man. I see myself as a man. You understand? And so those are the things but the destruction of Black civilization came from one of the elements that contribute to the destruction of Black ancient societies was race mixture. The white woman, as the good doctor said, they went crazy when the Europeans came out to Caucasus Mountain and white women went down in Egypt. They went crazy. And they relinquished their authority. And then she invited the white man in, and now you think Egypt is not even in Africa. It turned from black to brown to white, and then black to brown to white again, white back. It's a challenging thing, but some people do it for cultural reasons and race development. They prefer it because of the race, as Rashaki said, because we're in a racist context. Most Black people marry within their race. Most white people marry within their race. Most Asians, most Latinos marry within their race. But there are some that marry out for different reasons. But that don't mean it don't have an impact on the race from the standpoint of people watching. And you may make your choice, but sometimes people frown at you. People stare at you. And people, and then, sometimes your kids catch hell if you have kids, from that standpoint of identity conflict. You understand? And some don't. Some don't even, it don't even matter. You understand? You got 35 countries that accept gay marriage. 35 countries. In the United States, it's about state rules, and then they can pass some federal laws. But it affects the Black community immensely. When women are marrying women or partnership with women, you understand, they can't have babies. They can adopt babies. They can come in the relationship with their children. I've seen it where men left their families for a male relationship, and the woman say, "I can compete with another woman, but I can't compete if he love another man. How can I compete with that?" You understand? So, you talk about what drives people away from their relationship. People have the right to change their mind. Divorce rates have always been high. Separation rates have always been high. In all relationships all throughout the world. It's customs and traditions that led to longevity and mating. You understand? I mean, people used to just have sex and go their separate ways. You understand? And women built the first communities. They were called matriarchal communities. And they trained the young men to have longevity in relationships, and then it became customs, and then mating led to matrimony, and matrimony led to marriage and mating and all that. And customs generally was a religious thing to get married. Why even people who ain't never been to church get married in a church. Ain't that something? What broke my mind? And they have the ceremony. The marriage is when you take out the license. The ceremony, they get a marriage ceremony in the church. So it's a struggle, but it has an impact on our ability to take racial positions on things when you have a mixed family. It splits the family. It creates a problem, and at the same time, it diminishes our populations and resources to defend our race. And it's the enemy, they don't mind miscegenation to a certain degree, because that means a dilution of the Black race to a certain degree when it comes down to offsprings and things of this nature, and babies and things of this nature. But it's a social stratification, and it's an ideological and preference decision to marry outside the race. You have the right, but you can't say there's not consequences and impact on the Black race and the Black family if you look at it from a social stratification standpoint and the institution that we live in, that racial competition for critical social and economic space. We compete with each other. That's why people frown on Latinos immigrating. They're taking the resources. They're moving into the poor communities. They don't move into Beverly Hills. They just work there, but they live. All those type of things, even though they operate more cities than Black people ever did in California. We had little townships in the South, but at the same time, big urban areas. You're talking about Southgate, you're talking about Monterey, you're talking about, even India, Vietnam Town, and all that type of stuff, where they have governors, even gay people, West Hollywood, San Francisco, and you got gay people in high positions throughout the federal government, state government, openly gay, openly gay. Long Beach, one of the biggest and richest cities in California, has a gay mayor. I think Buttigieg, I think he's up there with Biden now. But anyway, you want to respond, Mshinda, to what I just said, if you're still there? What about you, good doctor?
Yeah, I got a few things. Kind of more and more kind of like disagreements in the numbers, man. I mean, you brought up the impact on the two Black male gays, kind of, taking that, out of the sequence of, for the Black family. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. Are there more Black gay men together than Black men locked up in prison?
No, but there's a lot of rapes in prison.
So, but those Black men in prison is not producing Yeah, I mean, if there's more of them in prison, I think that'd be a more impact on building a black family than the black gay men. And another thing is,
That's a good
because you
point.
said, you said the stratosphere, people think, oh yeah, you on black, yeah, you black country, you marry someone black because you're black. No, 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 no. You marry someone black because that's what you grew up around. You look at the majority of black relationships and marriages, it's probably someone you knew in high school or grew up around the corner from.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the mixed race with the whites, most likely that person grew up around whites. Or went to a white school, worked at a white company.
But
so all the numbers are flawed, man, because you got to look at the environment, the numbers, everything is flawed. You got these black so-called I won't call it doctor, what's his name on YouTube, that's Dr. Umar. But all these dudes, man, you like you talk about the African thing. Mm-hmm. Hey, if nobody's watching, guarantee you, man, that black is out the window. Mm-hmm. Everything I look at the numbers is flawed, man. Because the choices we got now, man. Nobody, I don't think majority, they're with a black person because that's the only choice they had, or they grew up around. Well, they had another choice somewhere else, probably would have been something different, most likely. And with the gay thing, I think it's more of an impact, man, of people going out committing crimes, getting themselves locked up. 50% of them, the other 50% was set up, Mm-hmm. But being locked up in prison, I think is worse, more than impact on the black family than just a couple of black gay guys. Like I said, I don't know the numbers. Mm-hmm. I'm just guessing it's probably more black men locked up than there are black gay couples. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Oh no, no question, no question about that.
I think that'd be a bigger impact.
Yeah, but again, we can talk about that.
Then you get, like I said, you go with the black, the black couples that marry. You're in the same area. You didn't grow. You're in the same area. Same thing. Nothing's changed. You didn't go out and expand. You didn't expand. But I think that's why they're black. You got more black families. So you had no choices. You married someone you either grew up with, around the corner with, you work in a majority black company.
Are you saying that back in the 40s and 30s and 20s, if black people lived around even in the 1800s, 1700s?
You got to look at the choices, though. Like you said, we talked earlier about the laws.
Yeah, well, that's my point.
The laws wasn't there, and they grew up. Yeah, it would have been all. Yeah,
but the customs are still here, and the traditions are still here. And my point is that the people locked up didn't have no choice, but the people that's not locked up do have choices.
I just see that's the thing. I disagree with that. I think half the people that are locked up had a choice.
Had a choice to go to prison.
Had a choice not to commit the crime. Because like I said, I've read thousands and thousands and thousands of C-files, arrest reports. And I can tell you right now, half the, I would say probably about half don't need to be locked up. Shouldn't have been locked up. But you made a choice, you put yourself in a situation, just like, you talked about the brother who just, the actor. He made a choice. Something happened. He acted his way. But hey, you look at, I just saw a little thing on the brother that played football who killed his pregnant wife, had the dude kill him. Mm-hmm. But you got to look at all the blacks that killed their wives, black wives. I'm pretty sure it's more of them than black killing white wives. You got to start looking at the numbers and just start cherry picking a few cases here and there, your overall number,
Mm-hmm.
Well, but yeah, I agree. Overall, yeah, society, the laws, the rules, what you've been around, yeah, it does make an impact on black culture, black family, black male, black female. It's going to make an impact, and it's going to make a bigger impact in the future. Just like you said earlier, the commercials. You see the commercial, like I told you, I see that commercial with the two older guys in their 70s. The one black, the black male and the white male, and go back to, I want to bring up the one with Rashaki. And I agree with you on the one thing. I agree with you. The trans, the kids that change, what do you call those? What's
transgender?
Transgender. I agree with you 100%. Not on the playing the same sports. That's basically, but hey, if they want to change and go to Rashaki, what Rashaki was saying, the reason why it would commit suicide, because everybody's telling them they shouldn't be that way. Not getting no support in the community. Everybody's, if they want to change and that makes them happy, man, we should support them. Let them be happy. Hey, that's them, man. Let them be happy. That's one thing we like. We want our happiness. We think somebody else's happiness, or what we think is right. Our morals or somebody else's moral not happy. Let them be happy, man. We support them more. I mean, if everybody was happy, it'd be a better earth, man, better world.
Yeah, but Doc, it's not us stopping them. It's not us stopping them.
No, well, I mean, it's society. Tell them, hey, you can't be this, you can't be that.
It's
you
not society.
Be it's
it's the institutions that
that's
people
why,
made that make. I mean, I didn't tell churches to condemn and excommunicate people because of their sexual or mating habits. A Muslim to do that. I mean, I've seen sexism and racism and capitalism plays a big part in all of this.
Right, yeah, money,
I mean, you got societies that women can't divorce men.
Correct.
Let me say this. Can I say this?
Yeah.
Well, if you have a whole bunch of confused people, it's easier to control them. So basically, I don't support confusion. And if you think that you a dog one day and then a cat the next, I think it's a problem. Okay. And I don't support it. So you can roll the way you want to roll and say, oh, do what you want to do. But I ain't that one. I'm not for all that. I'm for people being who they were born to be.
Yeah. See,
that's
right,
on you. Okay.
Right.
I don't agree.
So you don't think a woman can say, I'm a man trapped in a woman's body, or a woman can say, a man can say, I'm a woman trapped in a man's body?
You can say what you want to say. There's confusion, there's mental illness, and there's delusion. There's all of that, and I don't support none of that.
Yeah, but as the doc say, laws have changed.
Oh,
and
yeah,
people getting operations, and people are changing their sex, taking hormones.
But I don't agree with it. That's just me. I'm one
Yeah. Well,
don't agree with it.
Personally, most people on our programs don't. But we have to deal with them that do, because it may affect your family one day. And how you gonna deal with it? If your son come home gay, are you gonna kick him out the house? If your daughter say, no, I want to be a man, just like what Magic Johnson's going through, his son dressing up in drag. Just like what what's the guard name that played with Miami? The dark brother, short. He married the sister, actress. Dwayne Wade, his son and daughter, and he moving out of Florida because of the prowess in their passing these laws against transgender and things of this nature. But the point is, and the laws against using the same bathroom and playing sport. So it has an effect. Personally, we don't have that problem right now, but does it affect the family? And it would affect yours. It would affect some people. Some people kill their kids. You be punk around me, I'll kill you.
I personally know.
You can't even call people punks no more. They call it bullying.
Okay, well, I personally know somebody that had a daughter that was being attacked by the gay girls in basketball.
Yeah.
And the parent wasn't having it. Said, I didn't raise you to be that way. So if you want to, you can't be that way. I'm not raising you to be that way. but when they got grown, they became that way. Now, when you grown, you can do what you want to do, and see that these are the issues we have, and we got people coming after people, and they're not that way, but they get turned out. So it's a bunch of confusion, and it's not in line with nature.
What do you say about the commercials that the doc say?
Oh man,
With men kissing men on commercials. I'm HIV and they kissing and hugging each other and drinking wine together. And what about the movies where you see
it's further promoting confusion. It's a further promotion of confusion. And like I said,
they say it's revealing life. They say there's more people, there are still people hiding their lesbianism and gayism.
Man, like I said, man, hey, there are certain lines you don't cross. Okay. There's certain lines you don't cross. You can't jump off a building head first. To be all right.
They just
You know what I'm saying?
There was a state senator in Sacramento who voted against all gay, lesbian, and homosexual activities, and they found out he was gay. Then, just recently, there was somebody's just recently it was on the news. This dude and his wife were having a group sex and things of this nature, and he was supposed to be a staunch conservative. You know, so it happens. But anyway, it was a good discussion tonight, brother.
Hey, let me say one thing.
Hold up.
Talk to one of my buddies, man. It just came up.
Yeah.
We all homeowners. So I'm out looking for a house, man. I go to this one house next door. You know, all these unemployed blacks are hanging out, playing loud music. You know, smoking herb. So okay, I go to the next house. You know, there's a gay couple, black gay couple there, man, and the blonde is nice, and they greeted me. Hey, let me know all about the neighborhood and the stores. So okay, what house you choosing? I'm choosing to the gay people, man. You know, so hey, when it comes down, I guarantee you, man, everyone in here would say that. You're not gonna live next to the gangbangers smoking marijuana with Pookie and Ray Ray running, but you gonna live next to a gay couple whose stuff is nice, clean, working, telling you about the neighborhood, actually you need any help. Hey. That all that black goes out the window, man, when you're buying a house.
One thing about it is whatever people do that's in that arena, it's a private thing anyway. Ain't nobody's business. First of all, you do what you do. I'm gonna do what I do. Ain't nobody's business. But like Rahh said, when it affects, you know, the society, it's issues. But you know, do what you want to do. But you know, you leave yours over there, and I'm gonna leave mine here because it's all those type of things are private anyway. And we just putting everybody out in the open. No, man, these are private acts. You know, I don't need to tell you what I am. It's private. But it's total confusion, and it's easily to control the senseless and the dumb. And that's what I see a lot of. You know, here's an example. And I've been this way. We knowingly do things that are not good for us, but we still do it and we try to justify it. I mean, I've been that way a lot of my life, but I ain't like that no more. You know what I'm saying? We're taught to be stupid and justify the stupidity. It's just what we do don't make sense. So this is why we have these programs.
I did the opposite. I did things to justify your ideology.
What?
Because I did things. People say, "Oh yeah, you should do this." Oh, okay. Not knowing, hell nah, man. I gotta make my own decision.
Yeah, you should analyze and
make based on other people's opinion of how I should be. Okay, because I told you when we first started, I was very impressionable. And like it's now, man, oh man, if I can go back now, my attitude down, man. a lot of people be getting slapped.
They coming out with a movie about Brainerd Rustin.
Oh yeah, it's out. It's
Oh
out.
yeah.
I turned the TV. I turned it. I was watching. I said, man, look at this mess. I don't want to see this. This is private. Those are private acts.
You know, but they're making him a hero. You know, he won the planet to march on. He's the main figure that put the March on Washington together.
Hey,
You know, I mean, you know, you look at Little Richard. You look at Little Richard said, I had sex with men and women.
that ain't nobody's business.
But they put it out there.
Yeah.
You know, they put it out there, man.
See, that's why I disagree with Rashaki, man. I think it's good to know because I've been in situations where I remember being at the job and this guy came working, this guy was working with me. And another issue came up about someone being gay in the office. And they were talking about this one person. I said, hey, man, don't say nothing around that person. They're gay, blah, blah, blah. I come to find out a month later, the guy I'm just telling this, he was gay. I wish he would have told me he was gay because, you know, it gets you caught up, man. If come out and tell you that you're gay, you this, you that, I like the heads up. So, I mean, you know, I won't say nothing to offend you with my personal opinions, unless you ask me, you know, you straight ask me, hey, you don't like, hey, man, hey, I'm not with the gay stuff, but hey, that's your thing. As long as you're happy. Hey, man, I can't come to the party.
Listen. They got a thing on YouTube where Eddie Griffin is talking about P. Daddy.
I saw that.
Yeah, and then second, you know that I forgot my thought, but you have a critical Atlanta down low. See, there's a difference. See, some black men do this. They say, I'm not gay. But if you ask them have they had a same-sex relationship before, they don't count that as being gay. They only count gay when you go all the way. And, you know, and just prefer men permanently and don't want to be with women. But there are people that have gay experiences, you know, and they don't count themselves as being gay. But they've had it, even intercourse. How did Magic Johnson catch HIV? He ain't had no blood transfusion like Arthur Ashe. You know, so hey, we got like Doc said, you got to be visual. You got to be visual. And see, women and Doc talk about men coming home from prison. Many of them have gay experiences in prison. They participate with the gays and things of this nature, come home, they're heterosexual, but they never tell the woman that they had a gay experience in prison and give her HIV. You know, I mean, it happens, man. You know, it's a challenge, but this was a good discussion, man. Whatever the doc on him, we're gonna have a good discussion. So it's beautiful, brother.
Had
It's
a
beautiful.
good time.
Yeah, all right. Oh, March, you can tell them about Dr. Kareem Rashaki.
Okay, first of all, tomorrow we got Tez Jones coming back on.
Okay, the sister.
Yeah, she's
Out
coming
of Florida.
back on.
Mm-hmm.
And the title is going to be Lifelines. She's going to discuss that. So next week, we're switching up. Conscious Corner is going to be on Wednesday, and the CN show going to be on Tuesday. We got Dr. Maulana Karanga coming for Kwanzaa on Wednesday. So Conscious Corner going to be on Wednesday with Maulana Karanga, the origin and history of Kwanzaa. So that's what's going on next week. We're going to switch days, and that's going to be that's a treat for us because Maulana is big time.
International recognized.
That's
brother.
right. He's a prolific figure. So that's going to be a treat for us. But Brother Doctor is a treat for us.
Yeah.
Mshinda, we have our own people in our own right. That's wonderful and
yeah, the origin and history of Kwanzaa.
Yes.
because there's a lot of controversy about it. People think it's a black Christmas. It's not. It's non-personality. It's not about Jesus' birthday or nothing like that. Martin Luther King birthday. It's not about politics, no presidential day or nothing like that. It never was recognized by America. It was started by black people for black people. It's the only holiday that black people originated on their own. That and Juneteenth, but Juneteenth was mostly in Texas. But whereas and mostly pertaining to America, where Kwanzaa is all over the world now. And on every continent, they celebrate Kwanzaa. We got pictures from Africa, pictures from Dominican Republic, Peru, everywhere where black people are, they celebrate Kwanzaa. And that's what it's supposed to be. It's a global celebration. So anyway, hopefully y'all tune in and we can ask questions and get a better understanding of why the 7 principles of Kwanzaa in Nguzo Saba is what the Kwanzaa is about, and practicing it year-round. Unity, Umoja, unity. Kujichagulia, self-determination. Ujima, collective working responsibility. Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Imani, purpose. Kumuma, creativity. And Imani, faith. Nia, purpose. And Imani, faith at the end. That's the 7th principle. And how it's celebrated, why it's celebrated, how you light the candles, all that type of stuff. All right. Hopefully y'all tune in and spread the word. And anybody that in your families that want to know about Kwanzaa, tell them to come and watch it. All right.
All right. Each one teach one in Conscious Corner.
And we're going to take this pause. All right, brother.